So Martin O'Neill, after his spell as interim manager at Celtic, is back with us now. And it's up to you, Wilfried Nancy. But for Wilfried Nancy, who came over from the MLS, it's been far from a happy baptism. Martin came and went. 8 games, 7 wins, 1 defeat. It's been a disaster for Nancy. He lost the Scottish League Cup final yesterday to St Mirren at Hampden Park, and well done St Mirren. Only one winner there, and it certainly wasn't Celtic. 3-1 St Mirren won it. And what does that make it for Nancy? 3 losses in 3 for him. This was Nancy post-match.
Before the final that they deserve to have good results, because I know that I came in and it was not easy for them in terms of change. They had to adapt regarding certain things, and the engagement that they have is they are really engaged. So there is no doubt with that. But now this is more about the what I ask individually. And so recognize when we have time on the ball to go to attack the box, recognize when instead of playing the long ball, can we play, recognize instead of playing back, can we play forward. This is more about the connection between 1, 2, 3 players.
Wilfried Nancy, after Celtic lost the League Cup final 3-1 to St Mirren. Simon, I'm going to get to the man sitting to your left in a second, but from the way I see it, because of the way Martin went about it and what he achieved in his spell up there, it was always going to be difficult for Nancy, difficult for anyone coming in.
Not really. Why would it be difficult? Difficult's coming into something that's broken. This wasn't.
Well, Martin was a big act to follow.
Sure, but Martin steadied the ship. He did. Dermot was very fortunate to have brought Martin in, and if he's made the right appointments, then he's very fortunate that Martin steadied the ship, got the motivation going in the right direction, won the games that needed to be won, put Celtic back into focus on the field rather than potentially off it. And if he's got the right manager, if they've appointed the right manager, then it should not be difficult, unless the manager that you're bringing in isn't thinking clearly about the task that he's inherited and the balance of the team that he's got to play with. I mean, you don't change things if it's not broken. You don't try and fix it, do you? And it wasn't broken. If you won 7 out of 8 games, Martin said, he talked about Forest playing the team that beat his side and how physically strong they were. So it wasn't a surprise that Celtic got turned over by them because they were a strong side. But look at the results that he got. I mean, the only regret I'd imagine that he would have had is if he had played St Mirren in the semi-finals of the Cup and Rangers were awaiting him in the final, he probably definitely would have wanted to stay. Mm-hmm. But everything was done for the fella to walk in the door and just go, right, okay, I'll implement my changes, perhaps subtly and over a period of time, and bring the playing squad with me. And perhaps he's gone too fast.
So Martin, what has Wilfried Nancy inherited from you?
We'll get back to this video in just a second, but first I want to talk to you about this. This is the Nextbase Pico, and this will keep you and other people safe on the roads this festive period. It's a connected compact dash cam, which will record every single journey you make in high definition, and they've got a cheeky little offer going on at the moment, which I think you will like. Now, we know what people are like on the roads. We've all been driving to see friends and family and got cut up by someone. And maybe you're going to a racetrack and you're going to go and watch the professionals do it. And there's probably a lot of professionals not out there on the motorways of the UK. Well, look, this will record everything in high definition, sharp detail. There is a 1K and a 2K version. So whatever happens, it means you've got evidence for whatever goes on the roads. It's not just about the footage though. The Pico's packed with smart safety features that every driver needs, and of course it's from the UK's leading dashcam brand, which was recently crowned Trusted Review's best dashcam of 2025. It's super compact, even I can install it and you won't even notice it on your windscreen. Now pair it with the Nextbase app, set it up, control it from there. It couldn't be simpler for you. There's even a smart parking feature that keeps an eye on your car while you're away, automatically recording if it detects any movement or impact. And trust me, my car just got hit by something in the wind and I'm livid because I didn't have a dash cam installed. Now, if the worst does happen, the emergency SOS system can alert emergency services and share your exact location to help you get help faster. And with Witness Mode Lite, you can quickly alert a friend or family member if you feel unsafe on the road, which is definitely something I reckon parents should be thinking about. With prices starting at under £100, this would make a fantastic stocking filler for yourself or for someone in your family. And actually, if you leave your Christmas shopping late, like I do every single year, no matter how much I say I'm going to do it early, between the 4th of December and Christmas Eve, the 24th of December, you'll get the Pico 2K for £30 off the recommended retail price, meaning you get your hands on it for just £89. You can go and fill your your car up with half a tank of fuel, or book a ticket to watch some excellent racing in the United Kingdom in 2026. Protect your journeys with confidence with the Nextbase Pico. Go to the Nextbase website for more information, or check out Halfords Argos or Currys for more today. Stay safe, stay connected, and enjoy the road ahead.
Martin, what has Wilfried Nancy inherited from you?
Well, that's a good point. What has he inherited? He is well. First of all, I think that, and it's a digression for a moment or two. You've got to give managers chances. You've got to give them a chance. If I think back to my own time at Leicester City, where I eventually enjoyed really nice success but overall, when I went in there, first of all, and I don't even think but my head was right, really, because I'd left Norwich after 6 months, used that old excuse about fighting with chairman and stuff like this here at the end of it all, and it was really all my own fault. And so I'm coming in not in the best frame of mind. I can't win a game to save my life, crowd baying for blood, and after 10 games. So you've got to have to, and I think to myself how lucky I was to win a couple of matches of real importance at a stage. So this is it. Coming into a situation now, you've just got to win. You've got to win. You've got to go and steady it again now. If it's gone afloat a bit or whatever the case may be, you just go in and win a game or two. And so there's some excellent players at the football club. There's some boys who have won big times as well. Captain's a terrific example of that. They're really, really good. It was brilliant for me and brilliant to me. And so just again, sometimes lean on some of the senior players. Lean on them, and get them on your side.
I mean, I accept it's maybe not. It's the most straightforward baptism for Nancy. Top of the table Hearts, Roma, who are decent at any time, and then a cup final against St Mirren.
Well, I could have lost all of those games as well too. So that's.
But your mantra to the Celtic players, I have heard, as soon as you went over the threshold, was we got to win. Am I right?
Yeah.
Be honest here, Martin. Is that what you pushed and pushed and pushed to them? You must win.
Well, if you're pushing that to players at Celtic, they've got to listen first time round, So it's a prerequisite. You've got to win. You've got to win. Listen, if you're managing in the National League at this minute, you got to win. But it's so relevant up in Scotland and Celtic and Rangers. That's it. You win first of all. A way back, I put together a really good team way back 20 odd years ago. Really good side. I inherited some really great players, and I brought some really good players to the football club. And you have to win. But that they had to win.
Right, I'm looking at messages I'm getting in. I'm looking at my Twitter feed. He'll be back at Celtic in no time, Jim. Paul, never mind talkSPORT, Jim. With the graces of respect, getting back in the Celtic dugout. That's you they're talking about. Yeah. So here it comes. He's come in, played 3, lost 3. One of them's a cup final. Is it recoverable for Wilfried Nancy, Martin?
Absolutely. Of course it is. And I'm not just saying that. It is recoverable, of course. You still have to... You're in the football club 10 or 12 days. And even though you probably have watched the team play and you still have to learn about the players. And I have to learn about the players myself. I got great help from a coaching staff, and I felt, as I said earlier, young men involved in the game who have been involved heavily in the game. Sean Maloney's been a manager at his own stages. And so I leaned on certain things. But in many aspects, it was a throwback to my earlier days there, going into the football club, allowing coaches like Steve Walford to go and coach. And I will oversee things and then put my stamp, for want of a better word, on the team.
So what are you saying to the many Celtic fans who clearly, from what I'm seeing this morning, have major doubt in their mind about Wilfried Nancy? A, did he impress you? And B, were you impressed when you read his CV?
Yeah, it doesn't... I've always said this here. You will never know whether a manager is any good or not. You can have the greatest CV in the world, as has been proved over the last 20-odd years, as a footballer or whatever the case may be, and maybe not make the grade as a manager. But it doesn't... And things are eventually a bit of a progression. You know, I suppose I never looked at it like this, believe it or not, because when I went to Wycombe Wanderers, first of all, I wasn't starting to think about, wonder could I manage Manchester United or Real Madrid? You know, when we lost to Bromsgrove, I didn't think that. But at the end of it all, what I'm saying is this here, that there might be a natural progression on it. And you've got to work at it. Every single football club, you should not be thinking of a football club as a stepping stone. You should be thinking about trying to win for that football club. And then things might happen because of winning.
So what's your message to all the Celtic fans? And I mean many who are messaging in this morning, who are saying it's a polite no thanks to Wilfried Nancy and Martin, we want you back.
No, you cannot make a judgment on anybody over 3 games. And I don't care about the matches were difficult. Roma was going to be a difficult game, whether you're playing at home or not. You know, Hearts was the top of the table clash, and a cup final, a cup final's a cup final. You have got to give a manager some time. And what would you...
You got him out the corner of your eye there, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I'll hand it over to the maestro. What would you have? Now? Well, you have employed
really,
a
honestly,
manager for 3 games.
Well, I would have kept you in situ to the end of the season.
All right, but what would you have done if you had employed a manager?
I wouldn't have employed. I don't think I'd have employed this manager. And ultimately, I would have expected him to have faltering hearts that weren't in great form. They'd drawn the last couple of games, so they weren't in momentum. A Roma game, which I knew would have been difficult, and a cup final that I have to win. I'd be disappointed. Is what I'd be.
And you wouldn't have employed him, Simon?
Well, I've said that, haven't I? I've said that from the outset. I don't think, with all due respect to his credentials, and there's a stepping stone. Celtic's not a stepping stone. Celtic is one of 2 clubs in Scotland that has to win. End of discussion, has to win. And when he came in, it wasn't broken. Brendan's tantrums were causing off-the-field challenges. And so with Brendan gone, put a sensible voice in there that holds order and does sensible things, you win football matches in Scotland and any league.
And if you were Dermot Desmond, you would have kept the man to your left on until the end of the season.
But there's no reason not to. What's the haste? What's the hurry? Unless you'd already made that decision. And for me, the Martin O'Neill that hadn't been out of the game for 7 years would have perhaps demanded a little bit more of Celtic. Than the Martin O'Neill that's gone back in for 7 games and have a greater expectation of himself that actually I'm not here to fill a gap for you. I'll come back and do a job for you, but I want something in return for it. Not just be weighed in for 7 games. I want to do a job for a period of time.
I'm going to offer a real treat for Celtic fans getting in touch this morning. You can call us this morning. Don't bother about me or Simon. This is your opportunity to speak to Martin. Martin O'Neill, after returning to us after his interim spell at Celtic, 8 games, 7 wins, just 1 defeat. Can Wilfried Nancy turn this thing around?